There are a lot of books behind me, and I pulled a few random books off the shelf. Well, not so random, but you hear that there's a theme that unites them. One is a book that I picked up in London in a market once, which is called The Hurried Child. Really, really interesting if you've been raised or are raising other humans. Another is Stillness Speaks, another interesting short book which gives you some great insights into ways to be quiet and notice what can happen. Senator Joe Lieberman's book, The Gift of Rest, and Carl Honore's book that you may know of, which is called In Praise of Slowness, a gift from my sister-in-law a number of years ago. And what unites all of those, as you can hear, is stillness and slowness and stopping. Wow, are we bad at stopping? Pulling that giant lever like on a train, letting the wheels screech to a halt and saying, what happens when there is silence? What happens when we're not moving in different directions or moving at all? I remember being in Sicily in a restaurant, a little town, and about to go into a restaurant. It said, no tourists. I thought, that's intriguing. We'll go inside. And it was a tiny place, wooden tables. We sat down at one of them, and the owner came over and says to us, just so you know, she said, this is slow dining. We said, great, we're not in any hurry. She said, nothing is already made. We didn't make the pasta this morning. We're making everything for you. So if you're in a hurry, please don't sit here. That was her tone. We said, perfect. So we ordered a bottle of wine, ate some delicious homemade bread, and just waited as course after course came out. And why do I mention that story? Because it's in praise of slowness, slow dining, slow moving, slow living, sometimes changing the tempo of our lives to realize that some of the greatest gifts come when we just slow things down enough. There's a lot to be said about pace. We know how important it is to rush ahead, to be pursuing goals, moving, progressing in the right direction. But none of that happens in a way that's sustainable or healthy if we don't sometimes stop and sometimes go from a run to a jog and allow ourselves even sometimes to walk and sometimes even to stop walking. I remember there were times, especially in raising the kids, when I would lie on their beds looking up at the ceiling and allowing just time to pass so we could have conversations if they came up. It wasn't about quality time. It was really about quantity time, being available to them, because that's when great things happen in relationships, even with ourselves, when we make time for listening.